Welcome back, my sixth graders. We're going to be tackling lesson 2-3, practice and problem solving. First part says find each absolute value. We know the absolute value of a number is how far that number is from zero on the number line. So if I was to say this was 0, and I asked you what the absolute value of 4 was, well, that's easy. You would say 4. Of course, if I asked you what the absolute value of -4 was, you'd also say 4, because it's also 4 places away from 0. So basically what that tells me is whether my number is positive or negative, the absolute value of the number is going to be a positive number. All right, let's go ahead and try it out. Find each absolute value. I got -46. Well, that means my absolute value will be 46. Because -46 is 46 places away from 0. Number 19 is yours. Number 20, I got -2/3. That means that 2/3 will be my answer, because 2/3, or -2/3, is 2/3 away from 0. If this was 1, and 2/3 would sit about right here, -2/3, and that is still 2/3 from 0. Number 22 is mine. I got -4 3/4. That means 4 3/4 will be my answer. Number 24, 27 1/4. Well, whether it's positive or negative, it's still going to be a positive answer that I'm getting, because that's still 27 1/4 away from 0. Number 26, 14 is 14 away from 0. Number 28, -6.3 is 6.3 away from 0. That's pretty easy, huh? Number 30, got -8.5. That is 8.5 away from 0. And -6 3/4 is 6 3/4 away from 0. As you can see, my answer will always be the positive version of the number that's in there, whether it's negative or positive. In my absolute value signs, the answer will be positive. Number 34 says order the numbers from least to greatest. Well, the absolute value of -12 is 12. The absolute value of 11 3/4 is 11 3/4. A lot of people confuse absolute value for the opposite. Remember, you do not get the opposite sign. You get a positive version of whatever is in there. Let's see, -20.5, well, the absolute value of that is 20.5. And I got 2, and that's still going to be 2. All right, so what is it from least to greatest? The smallest number I see here is 2. Second smallest number I see is 11 3/4. Next biggest number is 12. And the biggest number I see is 20.5. Let's try number 36. Well, -6 is 6 away from 0. -4 is 4 away from 0. 11 is 11 away from 0. And 0 is just 0. There is no positive or negative version of it. So what's the order from biggest to, or least to greatest? Well, 0 would have to come first. 4 would be second. 6 would be next. And holding up the rear would be 11. All right, we're on number 38. Number 38 says, Alberto and Rebecca toss horseshoes at a stake. Whosoever's horseshoe is closer to the stake wins a point. Well, Alberto's horseshoe is 3 feet from the stake. Didn't quite make it to the stake, but it's 3 feet from it. But Rebecca's horseshoe is 2 feet past the stake. What integer best describes the location of Alberto's horseshoe in relation to the stake? We never made it to it, so I would say it's minus 3 from the stake. And what integer best describes the location of Rebecca's? Well, if Rebecca's is 2 feet past it, I would say hers is a positive 2. Number 40, find the distance from Abotra's horseshoe to Rebecca's horseshoe. Remember, we're talking about distance, and distance is how far this is from one point to another. Let's just pretend this is -3, and the stake represents 0. Well, we would find the absolute value of -3, and that would be 3. So that's 3 feet from here to here. Then we'd find the distance of Rebecca's, and that is 2 feet from here to here. Now we'd have to add them together, and 3 plus 2 is 5, so that tells me the distance from Alberto's horseshoe to Rebecca's horseshoe is 5 feet. Number 42. Samuel and Letitia are playing a game. After the first round of the game, Samuel's score was -19, and Letitia's score was 21. The score with the greater absolute value wins each round. Who won the first round? Well, it does say after the first round. So the absolute value, or how far these numbers are from 0. Well, the absolute value of -19 is 19. The absolute value of 21 is 21. Remember, the score with the greater absolute value wins the round, and that would mean Letitia won the first round because hers is bigger. Number 44. Marie's account balance is -45.62. That's -$45.62. Tom's account balance is -$42. And 55 cents. Which balance represents the greater number? Which balance represents the lesser amount owed? All right, which one of these expresses the greater number? Let's put these on a number line so it makes more sense to us. If this was my number line and this was 0, well, Marie's account balance was -45.62. Tom's was -42.55. Now notice, because we're talking about negative numbers, 42, we got 1, 2, the numbers are going to grow this way, but they are growing in depth. And on the other side of my 0 is going to be 1, 2, these numbers are getting bigger and bigger, which tells me numbers to my right are bigger than the numbers to my left. So which balance represents the greater number? Got to be Tom's, because his is towards the right. Because it is more to the right on the number line. And then when it says which balance represents the lesser amount owed, that's also Tom's, because he only owes $42.50. or 55 cents instead of $45.62. So the next answer is going to be Tom again, because he owes a lesser amount. All right, let's go to number 46. I believe that's my last one. 2 scuba divers are swimming below sea level. All right, let's just put the sea level here. The location of the divers can be represented by negative 30 feet and negative 42 feet. Which measure represents the location that is closest to sea level? Well, as we can see, sea level's over here. We could say that sea level is 0 if we want. Negative 30 is closer than negative 42. So the measure that is closest to sea level is negative 30 feet. All right, that's all of mine. Good luck with all of yours. I'll see you in class where we'll go ahead and grade these. Night.